Good evening, everybody. It's Monday night, which means it's time to go wild. Welcome to the Time to Go Wild radio show on Halton Community Radio 92.3 FM. We're also live across the world on hcr923fm.com/listen and via TuneIn. If you want to contact the show, do so via social media, Facebook or twitter.com/TTGW radio. We have email, radio@widneswild.co.uk. We have the phone 01928 835 291 and text 07716 672 874. Start your message with TTGW or messages charged at your standard network rate. I hope you're all ready because it's time to go wild. Good evening, everyone. It's so funny how a week goes. It's time to go wild once again. 7 o'clock on your Monday night here on Halton Community Radio 92.3 FM. And we're already 2 games into, pre-season. Not quite the season. Oh, have you all been enjoying it? I hope you have. Well, we're here for the next hour to bring you all the news, views and roundup of the last week and last weekend, and I have a dynamic duo to keep me company this week. I have, returning for a second week from popular demand, Andy Witchley.
Hi mate, it wasn't popular demand, someone just left the door open, so I just thought I'd come in.
And a Carl Bungay.
Evening Colin, evening listeners.
Oh, so yes, we're all set to go, and well, what did you make of last night?
In all honesty, I didn't really see much of it. Being a goal judge, you're focused on one thing, and that's where that puck is.
Yeah, that's true. It's it can be a good job, it can be a bad job. Andy, your impressions of last night?
It was a bit of a slow start. First period, going in 0-0, didn't expect that, and finally started to kick into gear, and then yeah, I kind of, as the match got busier, I got busier being in the penalty box.
Did. Yes.
Made certain new friends, someone who spent a lot of time in there last night.
Yes. One of the Altrincham players amassed a total of 16 minutes of penalties. Okay, 10 of that was misconduct as part of a 2 and 10, so it was 6 minutes of minors. So, poor Ollie Bain suffered a bit at the hands of the officials last night, and it's just one of those things. I mean, You sometimes you just take a penalty because you need to.
Yeah, I think one of them they really did need to. I think there's a tripping call as we were through. But again, I'm going back to the amount of sweets in the penalty box that we keep.
Yeah, I'm sure that's why they come back.
The second they realised they were in there, the penalties just started coming thick and fast.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, is it a certain popular jelly sweet beginning with H that you often have in there, or is it just a? Oh,
yeah.
Now, okay, right. Slight tangent here, listener. I'm going to ask this question. It's a bit rhetorical. Is there something they put in those sweets that makes everybody, no matter how old you are, completely and utterly hyperactive?
Well, it didn't really work with Alty last night, did it? So,
well, there's something that they put in them that sends everybody a bit loopy. Must be.
It clearly got him angry after the first one because he went back in there, so it's done something.
Yeah, that's true, but yeah. Anyway, enough on sugary comestibles, and we're here to talk hockey and discuss hockey. And ironically, although D1 North Morley and D2 North Laidler are only in pre-season, the Elite Ice Hockey League actually has some hockey action underway, which means we have some results. Okay, quick roundup of some of the results from over the last weekend. And the Elite Ice Hockey League is actually underway with their Challenge Cup fixtures. So from Saturday the 31st of August, Glasgow Clan 3, Dundee Stars 6, Sheffield Steelers 8, Nottingham Panthers 4. And the return legs for the same games on Sunday. Nottingham Panthers 5, Sheffield Steelers 1. Dundee Stars 7, Glasgow Clan 2. NIHL Division 1 North Morley had a pre-season game. Our friends, I'll say friends, of Solihull Barons were taking on the Haringey Huskies. That game finished Solihull Barons 8, Haringey Huskies 1. And in NIHL D2 North Laidler, we had 3 fixtures over the weekend. On Saturday, Telford Tigers D2 3, D-Side Dragons 3. On Sunday, the return leg, the Dragons 4, Telford Tigers D2 8. And on Sunday as well, the return leg of the game from last week, Widnes Wild 7, Altrincham Aces 2. And after the game, I managed to catch up with a couple of people for some words.
I'm with Mikey Gilbert after the YKK Widnes Wild had their second pre-season game, this time at home against the Altrincham Aces. Mikey, how'd you feel that went?
Yeah, I thought it went all right. We didn't play as well as we thought. Well, that we should have, really. Tempo was a bit low than what we played the week before. But yeah, it went well. We won 7-2. High intensity, so it was good.
I mean, first period was a bit sort of maybe finding your feet again back on home ice, and the Aces up their game, it seemed.
Yeah, Aces definitely up their game from the start as well. I think they wanted to come back at us for that away game. But first game on home ice in front of the fans this year, and hopefully a lot more good games to come.
I mean, the cobwebs are pretty much dusted off now. Everyone's getting into the shape of their lines, and things seem to be starting to flow a bit better.
Yeah, everyone's been playing together now for a little bit, so everyone's getting used to each other now. Chemistry's starting to show, and then it'll just get better and better throughout the year.
I mean, the lines were rotating well. I think we're only missing, was it Mike Marr tonight, weren't we?
Mike Mauer and one of the new D-men. That's not been announced yet.
Yeah. So, basically one that we know of and one that we don't.
Yeah, one that we know of, one that we don't. But yeah, that's it really.
I bet you're missing some of Big Biff's wise words before a game.
Mike Mauer's Monday mantra. Yeah, no, he's good in the room. Very good.
I think more of his Sunday mantras before games.
Yeah, no, he does love them. He comes up with some good words before the games.
But the team seems to be gelling well. We've got some new young blood out there and some new people to the team. I mean, Ryan Kemp's fitting in well, Pete Toth and Matt Tarpey, both, all three of them really putting it in together, fitting in with their lines. Yeah,
the new players are coming in well. Phil as well, Pearson, Jonah. You've got some of the younger ones as well, Sam and Charlie. They're all coming in, fitting in well.
I was just going to say, it was nice seeing Sam Anderson out there and Charlie Ratcliffe finally getting a chance to join the squad on a full game.
Yeah, it's the first time we've had Sam started here at Widnes and went over to Storm. I coached him at Storm, and then he's come back over here. He's playing for the 18s this year, and he's playing up for the Wild.
Well, on the subject of 18s, your involvement heavily with the junior development, and the fixtures have come out for that. So you're looking forward to that, to all of the different fixtures we've got coming up this season?
Yeah, we've got all 5 teams in the leagues this year, 9s, 11s, 13s, 15s and 18s. And all the kids are raring to go. First game is the 15s on the 8th, away at Blackburn, and then you've got 4 junior games on the 14th, so I'm going to have to split myself into 4 to coach each of them.
Oh, poor thing. I mean, we've got a couple of double home games as well, I think, coming up.
Yeah, a couple of double home games. Juniors on the Saturday and then Wild on the Sunday, so full weekend of hockey there for Wild.
It's going to be a busy time for everyone involved. I mean, I think there's a couple of games, a couple of days where we actually have a double juniors game on the same day as well.
Yeah, Saturdays, like the home games, they're mainly 18s and 13s together, and then the 15s and 15s and 11s together. Obviously, the younger ones playing before, but they're all ready.
I mean, how do you feel that the junior developments come on over the summer months and into the new season?
Yeah, it's come on really well. I think it's shown that we're the words going around about the academy with players coming from other places like D-Side, Storm, Blackburn. They're coming over from other teams to join us instead. Which is a good sign, and then we've got our own players coming through still as well from our development, and then we kept all our players too. So
I mean, we had a number of players playing 9s and 13s last year, and I mean that's a big jump, really, isn't it?
Yeah, there was 2 of them that played both. They both did really well, and then we're sending them both to conference this year. Actually, they've already started to go to the trials, and hopefully they'll get in. Same with the older ones as well. So we've got some conference players that we're sending to conference trials, and hopefully they'll get on. And
well, there you go. It's the way to keep going. So, well, best thing is get yourselves down here for the junior games, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Show your support for the juniors as well as the seniors. It's really good to have all the fans down all the time. So keep the family going.
Well, next week it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's Blackburn Hawks 1 away, then home in another pre-season.
Yeah, they'll be completely different games. They'll be a lot tougher. Obviously, the Div 1 team, they've got some good players, so we'll have to come out flying for them.
I mean, it's always a tough game whenever we've played Hawks 1. They're very very intense, very much diving onto the net, be it protecting their own goalie or trying to crash into the goal at our home end, trying to score. So it's usually a very intense game.
Yeah, they play a high intensity game. They're obviously good players. They know how to play the game, so we just have to be smarter, play up to them.
Well, I'll let you get going, get ready for next week, and catch up with you again soon.
Cheers, Colin.
I've managed to catch up with YKK Widnes Wild head coach Mike Clancy after the Wild second pre-season game against the Altrincham Aces. So, Mike, may as well start with the usual, a summary of how that game felt for you.
I think it was a difficult one tonight. I think the energy was there from the boys from the start, but sometimes things just don't click for you on the ice, and I felt tonight was one of those nights. I think their goalie played exceptionally well, keeping us out early on. I think we've got to work on some things, a little bit quicker on our shifts and stuff like that, and just continue to stick to the plan, and we should be fine. It's another pre-season skate, so I'm really pleased we're getting the rusty legs out of us now, and can't complain on coming away from the win. So there's some positives to be taken from the game.
I mean, yeah, that first period was very tough. Aces really upped their game from last week, and of course kept it 0-0. So from their point of view, that's a good positive from them, and it really frustrated. I think you could see the players were quite frustrated at the end of that first period.
Yeah, they had a very physical start on us, to be honest. They didn't give us a great deal of time on the puck in our zone. We need to combat that in different ways. D-width, different systems, listen on the bench, be a little bit quicker, shorten the shifts, and again force them in a similar way to turn them onto their back foot.
I mean, next week is, I was just saying to Mikey before, it's a very, very different style of game, playing the Hawks 1 team. They're very renowned for being very physical, very, in your face, crashing the goal, be it protecting or attacking. So it's going to be an interesting week for training, I expect.
Yeah, I think we've got to work on some different things to combat this game. It's not another ENL2 game. We're certainly stepping up in class greatly, and we've got to find what works for us against teams like this. So roll on Saturday. I think we'll be ready. We'll be as ready as we can be, and this will be another level of pre-season skate. So hopefully we can play up instead of playing down.
I mean, then of course the season starts in earnest the following week, and I take it you're pretty much in a way ready to go, but you're looking forward to making sure we've got all the rusty legs, as you said earlier, all sorted in good time.
Yeah, definitely. And we're still playing with different things, so different formats, different lineups, different changes. I'm still sticking with trying to play 4 lines as much as I possibly can. But sometimes, like I said, things just didn't click quite right for us this evening. And I think we'll pretty much get that out of the way over the next 2 games.
I mean, as I mentioned before, it's good to see the squad padding out a bit more with Charlie Ratcliffe and Sam Anderson finally getting on the ice with the team as a proper game tonight.
Yeah, I would love to have got Sam more ice tonight, but the way it fell, sort of penalties and power plays and PK opportunities, that it made it difficult. But I thought he did really, really well when he got on the ice. He really showed us what he can do at this level. I think he'd be a good asset for us coming on as the season grows. Really pleased with Charlie's start for us. He listens well. He's coachable. He gets in good places on the ice, and really showed me that he could compete in the corners. So Charlie's another one that's going to be a good asset for us.
And another young lad goes by MJ Clancy. I can see a smirk there. Got himself on the score sheet tonight.
Yeah, we know he's capable around the right players. So if he can win a few more of those draws, I think we'll be all right. But yeah, a goal and a couple of assists. Yeah, I'm sure he'd be pleased.
But at least you can go home with a good smile on your face after tonight and be ready for the coming weeks.
Yeah, planning again. Let's go home. Let's get ready for Blackburn at the weekend, and I look forward to another game.
Well, thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you next weekend, all being well.
Thanks now. Cheers.
So, it was plenty of positives to pull out of the match, I think, there, guys, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely positives. I mean, they look very strong. Defensively, they actually looked, I think, better than they did last week, despite conceding. I think we had better defensive this week. I think last week we had a bit wayward, bit unsettled. So I think it's good for them to get back on the ice.
I mean, I'll give a lot of credit to the Aces. I mean, they looked a lot more together, a lot better shape. They were protecting both goaltenders throughout the game really well, trapping their own zone, getting forward well, moving the puck a lot better. So you could tell, that week of extra training has made a lot of difference. They had a few extra players in the squad. Things were gelling better for them, and they really closed us down in that first period, I think.
As me and you said earlier as well, that first period, the Widnes Wild kind of jinx with keepers struck again, and Maudsley was absolutely having a screamer in that first period.
He was, yeah.
And if it wasn't for him, that would have been 3 or 4 straight away, and they might have crumbled away again. But like you said, the defence held it, and they really, really pushed us for the first sort of 20, 30 minutes of that game. Definitely.
So yeah, it's. I think that as things build for the Aces, from what I've seen so far, I think they're going to be a decent team. They're going to put, they're going to really test every team. And again, I think if the league is going to be building based on what we've seen so far from Altrincham, it's going to be a really tight season throughout the whole of D2 North Laidlaw, do you think?
Yeah, I think Altrincham will actually have a much better season this season. Last year for them, things weren't clicking, things didn't work for them. And I think this year they look a lot stronger.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, though, it's still Hull and Telford I'm worried about.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Definitely for me, yeah. Yes. No. Well, having seen the way, particularly from Hull Jets from over the last 6 years, having known them prior to moving back to the Northwest, I mean, they were one of the top teams in the old ENL1. And then they've had to, of course, players come, players go, your team reshapes, coaches have changed, and that team's really gelled. And this year, some of the players they've got in, and the strength they've maintained, and the strength they had last year, that's going to be a team to watch.
Yeah, I mean they've improved their team, and like you said, they were tough last year. They were a strong team, strong outfit, so they've only improved. Only going to be more difficult.
But going back to our lads last night as well, I think there's a couple that we haven't mentioned, like Toth, first home game last night. I think he had a cracking game. He got an assist at one point as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of the new guys have fitted in really well already. So these are just going to get stronger through the season as they get used to playing together. And
yeah, Pete Toth looked strong. Matt Tarpey looking really strong.
I mean, Minnie Ratcliffe, he had a great game.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. Nice seeing Sam out on the ice, and just seeing everybody getting a good amount of ice time. And when you can start seeing how certain lines are going to click, even though they are rotating things around, it is boding well. And I've had a text message through actually saying about one comment. I'm trying to remember which part of the game, and I wish I'd put it into the highlight reel. But I think a certain new goaltender for the Wild has made a bit of a stamp on his position as a bit of a dancer.
Yes, I believe he was dancing. Now, Stacey was telling me that he was having a bit of a dance.
I think I caught a little bit of his moves at one point, was our Phil Pearson in the goal down at the clock end.
Yeah, I've got to say as well, from obviously when I was goal judging, he made some absolute cracking saves. There was one they had 3 very quick shots to the point he was down on the ice, and they took a quick shot and he managed to just get back up and get his blocker up.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was going to go in. I was ready to press the buzzer, put the light on, and then he made a cracking save.
Was it him in that as well with when Kyle broke through?
Yeah, he was in all night.
He just literally stood up to him and he just went over the top of him, didn't he?
Yeah. In terms of the shots on goal last night, it was 27 shots on Phil for the whole game. Paul Maudsley got 16 shots on him in the first period. And Adam Cherry faced 18 in the second and 17 in the third. So, a total of 35 shots.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of shots in just 2 periods. So, we were pretty. The amount of shots the Wild were putting was pretty consistent. We must have been doing pretty well on the shots. It's early days, so accuracy also comes into it. But it was a spread of 4, 17 and 6 over the 3 periods on from Altrincham onto the Widnes goal. But, there were some very nice goals. In fact, both of the Altrincham goals, one in particular, was very, very pretty, I thought, of Altrincham's goals last night. Because it went in off the underneath of the bar.
Yeah.
And it was very nicely taken, I thought.
That happened that quick. I literally waited till the ref actually signalled a goal because I didn't see it. It was that quick. So the ref signalled it before I even made a move because I wasn't risking it.
It was very, very quickly taken. I just saw it ping off the bar. I thought, well, that's in. And then, but there was one, I think it was Altrincham's second goal, where Phil just sort of froze in the goal because I was chatting to him after the game and he said he didn't want to move in case he'd moved the puck in. It was one of those ones where you don't know where it is, you're a bit unsighted, and you could accidentally slide it into the goal if you move, but it sort of fell behind him and trickled in. So it's one of those ones, do you or don't you move? And unfortunately it went the wrong way.
Yeah, it's a tough call, that, isn't it? Because like you say, if you think you've got it, you think moving might push it in, so you stay still and...
As I said, I've not had a chance to watch the highlights back yet, but when we were in the penalty box last night, and I can't remember which keeper it was, but I'm sure they'd already gone to the floor and the puck had gone over them. They actually saved it with a back heel. They actually put the legs up and actually caught it, which don't see often. It's quite good fun.
Oh, yeah. There are
bit of a scorpion kick style save.
There's some pretty... if you can... those of you who do like to see a bit of fancy goalie stuff, there's some fancy saves out there online. And some of them, it's a case of how on earth they get it. And one that it just sticks in my mind is in the National Hockey League. Ryan Smith on Roberto Luongo. And it's this windmill-style save. And Ryan Smith shoots. It's in. As far as he's concerned, it's in the back of the net. And Luongo's just rotates in this windmill style and gets it in his catcher. And Smith just looks and sees it, and the look on his face as he's skating past, and you can tell he's sort of half ready to raise his stick in celebration, and he looks across at Luongo and goes, I hate you. It's that look of...
Yeah.
You how did... moments in life.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just always have a soft spot for the Greg Ruxton method of throw yourself to the floor, roll around as much as you can. If you get the net, you've done well.
Oh, yeah.
I miss them days.
Well, there's on one of the old intro videos, there's the Wild D-side game at Clock End, and it was one where we actually had a bit of goal cam footage as well, where they literally they crash onto him, and the stick's gone one way, I think the blocker goes off another way, the glove's off, the helmet's come off, and everyone flails on the floor. And it's a case of Greg sort of afterwards picks himself up, gets all his gear together, and he's like, right, okay, adrenaline's pumping, but he's in the zone. It's like, goalies... I tip my hat every week to you.
They're an odd breed.
Yeah, we've said before, it takes a special kind of person to be a goalie.
Actually, I was chatting with Rob Melvin afterwards outside in the car park. He was getting ready to go in for training, and it was he was like, "Yeah, we are a special breed, goalies. Got to love them." But of course, there was another feature last night, and I've just realised I'm actually going to change a song I was going to play in honour of it, because our previous coach of 3 years, who helped get us into 4 trophies in 3 years, had his shirt number retired. That, of course, number 7, Ollie Barron. And what an honour that was to see. It was nice to see Ollie back at the rink.
It was nice to have a quick chat with him before the game. I managed to catch him, have a bit of a chat, catch up.
He's obviously still not used to the crowd, though, because he refused to give the speech.
Yeah.
Yes. He's always been a man of few words, Ollie.
He has, yes. He didn't mind every so often having a little chat for you guys on the radio, coming on the phone. We are very, very grateful to Ollie for doing that with regards to From Time to Go Wild. And, of course, everybody within the Widnes Wild organisation is very grateful for all the hard work he's put in. And, of course, all the other guys who, over those years, have travelled over from South Yorkshire and the likes. And what a remarkable career to sort of finish off.
Yeah, considering he was that was his first coaching job, to see what he did, it's just something that most coaches can only dream of. 4 trophies in 3 years.
Yeah, I know. Words just have trouble coming out to say how amazing that feat was, with especially putting the squad together in his first season, as he had to sort of take players that were already here and signed and agreed and then reshape the squad.
We actually, had a comment from one of the Altrincham players last night, and as they came in for the first of many penalties, asking what that was all about and the retirement. And we said, retiring Ollie's shirt. And he's like, well, why are you doing that? I said, 3 playoffs in the league in 3 years. Oh, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. As you were.
Yeah, I mean, Greg, of course, the first retired number of 64. The other year, of course, with us from the first season, been backstopped the Wild to so many crucial games. And we were saying just before, as goalies go, how he kept his cool at times is just beyond us.
And we still can't get rid of him. He keeps turning up.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't want to get rid of him. It's nice. It is nice to see familiar friends.
It's always good when they come back.
It's always nice when, like say, former players return.
In fact, I saw Callum Ruddock at Altrincham last weekend.
Yeah,
so it was nice seeing him and the family
Wiggs
over there.
was there last night as well.
Oh, right,
Yep.
yeah. Well, good. It is nice when familiar faces turn up and show support for whichever team's there. Just come and enjoy their hockey. So I'm going to play a song now, and if memory serves, this was one of Ollie's requests when he actually came on the show. About a little bit of James Brown, the boss. You might be thinking, hang on a minute, most of the team's been announced. So why is he playing the announcement music? It's a good reason. Because our very own YKK Widnes Wild Women let out 4 more official announcements this week. So, because they are part of course, the whole Widnes organisation of teams, they deserve a little bit of announcement news, of course. And we have now announced for the YKK Widnes Wild Women, Elizabeth Loss, sponsored by Cakes by Lucy. Josie Moran, sponsored by Pippercorn. Vicky Venables, sponsored by Colfit Personal Training. And Sarah Aspinall, sponsored by Valdron Adventures. So welcome back to the Wild Women for them. And as we see more announcements from all of our teams across the Widnes Ice Hockey organisations, of course we will try and bring them to you here on the Time to Go Wild radio show each week. We're just chatting on air about a couple of signings and players, and there was a couple of familiar faces that have been mentioned, former Wild players in different ways, going on to pastures new, aren't they, guys?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, put some faders up.
Yes, three of our ex-players have disappeared to Blackburn this week, I think, or at least 2 anyway.
Yeah, but I think all 3 of will be sort of ex-Manchester Minotaurs at one point in their careers, and Altrincham Aces. Was it Jeff Wigglesworth is looking like he's gone up there?
Yep. Tom Rivez.
Mm-hmm. And?
Apparently Joe Greaves.
So we hear. Unconfirmed on some of them, but I know Tom's been announced. Tom was announced online earlier.
And Jeff has also been announced.
He has?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, I missed that one, but no, thanks for confirming that.
I don't think he's playing next week, though.
But, so it's going to be an interesting one when we come to play some of the teams, knowing that some... a lot of the guys within the D2 North and within D1 and D2 do know each other really well anyway. So it can make for some interesting matchups in the leagues, can't it?
Yeah, because obviously a lot of them know each other from junior systems because they've iced together right the way up. And then obviously they get the chance to go to different teams, sometimes the same team. So it is literally a little family, isn't it? All the players from the young, right from when they're young, right up to when they play senior hockey.
Even last night, there was Sam was on Dunford for Altrincham, Kyle Haslam for Alty.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, of course, we know Carl from his days up at Blackburn as well. Sam been up at Blackburn as well, if I remember rightly. And Sam Dunford, again, very, very effective. 1+1 for Sam. Ollie Bain, 1 goal for him. Andy Dunn, and a familiar name that I know of there, an assist. Your breakdown of the points for the Wild. Peter Toth on 1 assist. Ryan Kemp, 1 goal, 1 assist. Danny Bullock, 2 goals. Jakub Hajic, a goal and 2 assists. MJ Clancy, 1 goal, 1 assist. TJ, Tom Jackson, an assist. And Mikhail Novak, 2 goals and an assist.
And one thing I was saying to you before as well, which I hadn't really noticed a lot, but when we turned the puck over last night, on the occasions we did, when he was on the ice, Novak, he was literally the first player back, and he was sprinting back. The defensive work he was doing last night was really good.
It was remarkable.
It is great how we defend, and like I said, the forecheck we do as well. We seem to do a much more aggressive forecheck this year to try and get the puck back as well.
Dan Fay pulled off one where we were caught 2-on-1, and he had to track back really quick. And again, the pace and the fitness is really starting to hopefully all come together for the guys, and it's showing. We were commenting about the speed of the game whilst the record was on, and other players in the past. And I'm not using Bracey. I'm not using your name in vain here, but it's a conversation we had the other year, and after you'd had your break, and you came back and you said how much faster the game has got at D2 on its own, and looking at last week's game in Altrincham, how fast it was played and the intensity of last night, it's got a lot more intense at this level.
Yeah, that again, it's a testament to the junior systems, because obviously the guys coming through, the coaching they get, it's a whole different ballgame now than it was years ago when I first started watching it.
Yeah, and it's a testament to the commitment of the players. They give up their time to keep fit, go to the gym, get on the ice, go into training, travel up and down the country, and that's across all of the teams. It's going to be a very interesting season across all of the IHA teams in the cup. I think it's this coming weekend, possibly when some of the National League teams start their fixtures off as well. So seeing how that's all going to balance out now that a lot of what I'll call them former EPL teams have come back together with the London Raiders up in there, and the new Leeds Chiefs.
Yeah, I think you'll see the leagues are much more competitive. 'Cause like I say, they're all back in one league now, so you'll rebalance N1 and S1 as well for the same reason.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting just looking across and keeping an eye on the other leagues, see how things pan out as the season goes. In terms of fixtures, teams that you're going to be looking forward to seeing this year, Carl?
I'm looking forward to seeing how the likes of Telford and that do now. They are all back together. Like I say, the National League. To see how they actually do now they're all back in one league. It'll be interesting to see if a team walks away with it like they were doing with N1 and S1, or whether it will be a much tougher league for them.
There's an interesting matchup coming up actually in the National League very early on, which is a treble-winning North team against treble-winning South team, which is the Hull Pirates against the Peterborough Phantoms. And that's going to be interesting because they basically were the two teams, and in the past, Hull and Peterborough have always had good battles going back to the BHL, even all the way back to the old BHL days in the 80s. So, putting those two teams back together in that sort of level where they can compete again against each other, it's going to be interesting because Peterborough's rink is smaller than ours. So you go from a rink in Hull, which is bigger than our rink, sort of the size of Sheffield Arena's pad, or I'm trying to think who else has got the bigger pads, but that bigger pad of Hull, and then you go to a pad not the size of ours but smaller again in Peterborough, where you basically get no time on the puck at all. players pounce on you. It's such a contrast in the style of game between big ice and small ice.
Yeah.
It's weird to watch.
Listen, for me, I'm just lucky. I'm all about nostalgia. So this year with the cup competition, back playing against Nottingham, which I think we could do really well at.
Yeah.
And of course, Barons.
Yeah.
Back to the glory days with them games against the Barons.
Ah, yes. The ones where anything can happen, and
trying to bribe Mr. Doyle with cakes. In the good old days.
Well, for me, Perry was a bit of a pantomime villain back in the days of the BNL. But yeah, the guy would hit. I mean, to say Perry when in his days as a player could hit, how could you put it, like a wrecking ball on speed, turbocharged wrecking ball. That's not even touching scratching the surface, is it?
No, but it's like with any hockey player, isn't it? He was like that on the ice. You get him off the ice, really nice bloke.
Yeah, and
yeah, you find that with most of them.
And the off-ice banter with people like him, and Adam Andrews as well is another one we always seem to have good banter with.
Yeah, he's always loitering around, isn't he, on the Facebook page and things.
But this is the joy of hockey, especially within the teams within the IHA, that you get to know and you just have a good. You can at least have a laugh. And I mean, last night, of course, was the new intro and everything going together and fitting everything together and putting it all with the shirt retirement. And nice seeing Ollie's banner up now with Greg's. So yeah. We've dusted the old cobwebs off at home and getting ready now for next week, which is going to be an interesting matchup.
I just had to keep remembering last night I was in charge of the spur pucks because we lost that many last night, and I just kept forgetting that it was me who was handing them out.
Yeah, it's one of those times. In case of there was one game I was actually in the sin bin announcing, and I actually said to the officials, I'm going to have to put the oven on because we need some more biscuits. We were losing that many pucks. It was getting silly.
Well, we've got very honest fans at Widnes, and they kept returning back to us, so we were all right in there.
Yeah. Well, we'll have another little breather, and then we'll come back with a few more news items. So, and a song that I think is quite sort of fitting for hockey. I quite like this one. A bit of the Counting Crows and Mr. Jones. Okay, time for that little reminder we do each week of all our social media outlets and sponsors, etc, etc, etc. Don't forget, of course, throughout the week you can keep an eye on everything Widnes Wild related by checking out the website widneswild.co.uk and, of course, our Facebook and Twitter outlets, facebook or twitter.com. If you want the club, it's /Widnes Wild. If you want the radio show, it's /TTGW Radio. For Instagram postings, it's instagram.com/WidnesWildOfficial. That's WidnesWildOfficial. Of course, you can contact the radio show via email throughout the week on radio@widneswild.co.uk. And if you want to drop us a text throughout the week, use 07716 672 874. You can also use that while we're on air, or you can also text the studio direct on 60066, but make sure you use HCR to start your message because you'll be charged at your standard network rate. If you don't do that, it won't appear on the screen. Of course, we have our own and loan shirts, of which I think there's only a couple left. And so check out the website, but also contact the club to make sure if you're after one of the own and loan shirts, they are available. £80 for a game shirt, for either our nice new yellow shirts or the away black shirts, or if you want one of the nice blue warm-up shirts, which are in the colours of our charity, they're £60. And our sponsors, of course, this year, who, of course, we are very grateful for, our headline sponsor, that of YKK, the penalty box sponsor of the Sepsis Trust, Sprakes & Son of Widnes, DMH Tyres, CL Woodworking, Blast and Paint Stripping, and, of course, our charity this year, Stick and Step. Okay, Carl, I think you've got one or two fixtures to cover.
Just a couple. The first one is Saturday the 7th of September, and that's Blackburn Hawks 1 versus Widnes Wild. That's a pre-season game, and that faces off at 5:30. Sunday the 8th of September, Widnes Wild at home against Blackburn Hawks 1. Again, a pre-season game at 5:30 face-off. Also on Sunday the 8th of September, it's Blackburn under-15s versus Widnes under-15s, and that's an 18:45 face-off. On Saturday the 14th of September, your Widnes under-9s are at a cross-ice tournament in Manchester, and that's a 4:20 face-off. D-side under-13s against Widnes under-13s, and that's a 4:45 face-off. Grimsby under-15s versus Widnes under-15s, and that's a 4:30 face-off. And also on the 14th of September, Manchester under-18s versus Widnes under-18s, and that's a 7:30 face-off. On Sunday the 15th of September, Whitley under-11s versus Widnes under-11s, and that's a 12 noon face-off. And Sunday the 15th of September, YKK Widnes Wild versus Sheffield Senators in a 5:30 face-off as usual, and that's our first league fixture. On Saturday the 21st of September, Widnes under-18s versus Solihull under-18s, and that's a 7:45 face-off. Sunday the 22nd of September, Widnes Wild Women versus Solway Sharks Ladies at 5:30, and that's a pre-season game. And then Blackburn Hawks 1 versus Widnes Wild at 6 o'clock, and that is a Midland Cup game. On Saturday the 28th of September, Widnes under-9s are at D-side in a cross-ice tournament, and that's at 4:45. Also on Saturday the 28th of September, Widnes under-18s versus Sutton under-18s, and that's a 7:45 face-off. And Sheffield Senators versus Widnes Wild, and that's a 3:30 face-off, and that's a league fixture. On Sunday the 29th of September, your YKK Widnes Wild have another Midland Cup fixture versus Nottingham Lions, and that's the usual 5:30 face-off.
So something like 16 games to take your choice over the next month.
Yeah, lots of ice hockey.
It's going to keep everyone busy anyway, and of course all of our junior teams are in action, and of course we've increased from not just having 9s, 13s and 15s, we also have under 11s and under 18s this year. So a busy time for one and all.
And just speaking of the juniors, just a nice touch from last night. I thought it was quite a nice little thing. I know we've talked about it. Young Tom Warburton managed to catch one of the pucks last night that came over, and if anyone knows him, he has Widnes Wild everything and gets as much as he can. And instead of keeping this one, he actually went and gave it to one of the Ratcliffes, as it was the first puck he played with his first game he played with his brother for the Wild.
Oh,
so that was a nice little touch.
That was a really nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the two Ratcliffes walking out, and I went, in a manner of speaking, it's almost like looking at twins in a way. Bless them. So yeah, it was. I mean, nobody looked out of place last night on either team. To be honest, it was a very, very well played game all in all, and ironically, well skated out. I think for an Altrincham Widnes game, at times it can get very scrappy.
Yeah, with the exception of the one friend I made, it really was quite an open game, and there was really long periods of open hockey, not very many stops.
Yeah, particularly. I mean, that first period. It was very open, very open.
First period was very open and very end to end. It was a really good period of hockey.
I mean, it being pre-season, you'll be working on certain parts of the game, particularly to tighten up. So probably you'll be working on your attack and defence. Whereas the centre ice seemed to be very, very open for both teams to play in. So that can sometimes be the part of the ice where the game can change. Where you make those important turnovers and interceptions. So,
yeah, I'm not sure about our rink yet, but obviously the new zones will have a play in that because the zones have changed, haven't they, at a lot of rinks?
Yeah. Where the ice has come up, they've had to change the ice layout from effectively thirds, where the attacking zones are actually bigger. So you have to do a lot more work in centre ice in such a smaller space. But when you're in your attacking defensive ends, then it can be a lot more stressful in a way, because you've got to work that bit harder to get the puck out because you've got a bit more distance to clear. So Well, in terms of penalties last night, I mean, there was a couple of roughing calls. Bit of a nothing, really. Bit of a pushing, a bit of shoving. A couple of high stickings. But all in all, the only one that was sort of, I'll call it a do-or-die penalty, we were talking before we came on air again, was the one actually taken by Jordan Holland, which was a tripping call.
Yeah.
And it's one of those penalties we were saying that there are times when the last man takes a penalty to stop the shot on goal, but they've got to be careful how they do it, don't they?
Yeah,
Yes.
I was actually stood next to Jeff Wiggs last night, and when they went through, he was literally just shouted, "That's it, this is him." And next minute, we're on the floor, tripped, done, and it's a professional foul, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
is.
it's a professional foul. You've just got to be careful not to give away the penalty shot. That's the bit where they've got to know what they're doing to draw the foul properly and make sure it's only 2 minutes and not a penalty shot.
The dark arts, essentially.
Yes.
It is, yeah. 9 times out of 10, it's usually a slash, a trip, or interference. They're the usual ones that seem to get called at that point in the game. But other than that, it's if you do it wrong, it's the old Prince Charming stance, hands above the head, and it's a penalty shot.
I just think the big thing from last night, not only it was just nice to be back, it's been a long summer, but it was a really good crowd last night for a pre-season friendly.
Yes, I was thinking that myself.
So before we forget, a big thank you to everyone who came down, supported the teams, and hopefully we'll be seeing you again all through as the season progresses. And of course, pretty much it's most weekends now, most Sundays, Waikiki Widnes World at home, and wherever you are in the country, there's probably going to be some hockey going on. So go along and support your team. I've just looked at the clock, and we've got about 3.5 minutes to go to the top of the hour. It's absolutely flown
by.
So, we're going to have to call it a night, I'm afraid. It's been fun.
Always fun.
Always fun.
Thank you for coming in, gents. Well, all being well, if we're all, as a other broadcaster would say, if we're all spared, we'll be back next Monday. I won't be here on Thursday. I'm having another week off, so your ears will not bleed with the Box of Delights on Thursday night from 9 o'clock, but I'll be back, all being well, next Monday from 7 o'clock with more studio guests, more interviews, and more roundup of the week's hockey. Well, again, thanks for coming in, guys.
Yeah, just remember to lock the door next week. I won't get in.
It's time to play out with one that sometimes gets played at a stoppage in play, a bit of Martin Solveig and Hello, because the season's started. So, hello, season. We're about there.
We are.
So, from everyone here for another week, take care, look after yourselves. Till next week, ta-ra.